Hi, Russell Cummings. Just wanted to take you through our powerful problem solving sequence. This is a separate little sequence that we want you to use as part of the process to really help you solve complex problems. Now, as you remember, we went through 4 basic steps. The first one is we do a mind map, and we mind map the issue to get context and ownership, and to get all the information out on the table. Particularly when we're dealing with groups, it's a great thing to do, and also when you're doing it by yourself, it's a good idea just to get all your thoughts down using mind mapping, a really powerful tool. Don't forget to include the where mind map, the where arm, on the mind map, so that you make sure that you're understanding the purpose or the outputs or why you're doing it. Once you've got your mind map, then you use the Pareto Principle or the 80-20 rule to help you sort the mind map and to pick out the top 3 issues from that mind map. So pick out the top 3 issues using the Pareto Principle. And the question here is, if we resolve these top 3 issues, will that help us to deliver 80% of the problem or fix 80% of the problem, achieve 80% of the outcomes we're aiming for? Okay, so once you've done that, then you've sort of mind mapped to get the context, you've got your 3 issues sorted. Then you do a force field on each issue. Now, force fields are a really powerful tool, but to make it more powerful, make sure you define the problem well. So remember, we talked about the important parts here are to define the problem with a how-to question. So how do we increase sales? And then finish it off with an objective. So how do we increase sales in order to lift our profitability? Or how do we increase sales in order to grow market share? Both those questions should give you 2 different answers if you think about it. So use in order to put more power into your problem definition. Make sure you clearly define the problem first. That's a mistake that most people make. They rush into solving it without clearly defining the problem they're trying to solve, and therefore their answers are all over the place. Define the problem clearly, brainstorm the positive forces or the positive actions you can take, and brainstorm the barriers that are getting in the way. Remember, it's not a pros and cons exercise. It's the positive actions you can take versus the things that are going to get in the way. Pareto those, come up with some action plans, and away you go. And then lastly, we summarize this into a 1-page plan. Now, a 1-page plan is really quite simple to pull together. The now elements come out of the mind map. Quick summary of the key points in your mind map. The where element comes out of the where arm that you added into your mind map. So that's really important that you put that in place. In the how, we normally have strategies, actions. Those strategies and actions. So the strategies are actually the issues you've pulled out of your mind map. So the Pareto issues, so they're the 3 issues. And the actions are the action plans that you developed as a result of using the force field. So you create a pretty comprehensive plan. Now, you also remember that this is for solving fairly complex problems, So if it's a really complex problem, it's a great process to use. Really comprehensive. You'll end up with a lot of actions and comprehensive view of the problem. If it's a relatively simple problem but requires a little bit of thought, then you might just use the following sequence. You might just mind map the issue so you get it all down on paper and you're really clear about it. And then you do a force field on the issue. The important thing here when doing the force field again is to clearly define what the issue is, what the problem is you're trying to solve, then do a force field on it, and then summarize it into a 1-page plan. Alright, that's our powerful problem solving technique. Use it, practice it. Remember, we talked about practicing it 40 times. You're going to need to use it a lot before you're fluid and comfortable with it and becomes second nature for you. Thanks.